Yo, hello. It's been a bit. You're looking a little sick. I got the deck, but you're not equipped to handle this. Nah, I'm just kidding. Do I rap? Maybe. No, I don't know. Anyways, though, it's been a hot minute. I went to Baltimore, and I played Turbo Mew there. Baltimore was not in the Lost Origin format, which was a big disappointment. But yet they gave us this beautiful playmat and a promo chorus. Tournament recap, for the most part, I went 5-3-1, bubbled top 256 points with like 70 something other people. Kind of bummed. I played really well. I played 3.5/4 mirror matches, and I had a Tech Cheryl in my deck, and it was awesome. One of my losses was just like to a Dark Arceus deck. It just had like Hoopa and Double Moltres, and that was just a game ender. Another loss was a really good game 3 set against a Meowetta Mew. And then the other loss was to a Arceus Aggron deck. I bricked pretty bad, and yeah, I just got punished. But anyways, Lost Origin stuff. We're finally moving into the realm of like Peoria regionals and like all these online tournaments that are using on all the stuff. And I gotta before we start, this Goodra list was heavily inspired by one of my friends, Vulcan Turtle TCG. He's over on Twitch and Twitter. Links down in the description below. He's always playing in the late nights on Limitless. He's been playing a lot of Goodra. So this is like 58 of his 60 that he shared with me. I watched him play some last night on his Twitch stream. So go drop him a follow. Show him some love. Let him know I sent you. And hopefully you have a good time over there. He's awesome, really friendly, super supportive. We roomed together at Baltimore. But yeah, without further ado, let's take a look at this Goodra VSTAR list. So out of the gate, we've got Hisuian Goodra VSTAR with 270 HP with Rolling Iron. We've got Water, Metal, Colorless in the attack cost. Does 200 damage, and during your next turn, this Pokemon takes 80 less damage. So they have to hit you if you're clean. If you're completely clean here and you have no damage on you, they have to hit you for like 350 to one shot this thing, which just is not possible unless they're playing like something crazy like Darkrai or whatever. And then your V-Star power is an ability here, Moisture Star. During your turn, you can heal all damage from this Pokemon. So you have like half health, and you're like, oh, they could maybe get there. You could use Moisture Star and completely wipe yourself off. Before we go any further, though, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. We're really still making that push towards YouTube partner. Things are changing on YouTube. Twitch is kind of falling apart right now. So I don't know how much more variety streaming and Pokemon streaming I'm going to do over there, but don't forget, just go follow me in anyways. We have a Limitless Tournament single price showdown in the next couple of days, so go take a look at that. So yeah, we've got the 3 V-Stars and 3 copies of Goodra V. 2 attacks, Slip and Trip for a Water and a Metal. It does 60 damage, and you switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. You don't get to pick, they do. So it's not that great. But if they only have one of the Pokemon, it's alright. But for the most part, yeah, you're not really ever going to really use this. Turn 2, you're probably just going to like let them take out a Comfey anyways. Then you've got the second attack, Rolling Shell for 140, and during your opponent's next turn, it takes 30 less damage from attack. So Rolling Shell is basically Rolling Iron without the full-fledged power. So yeah, 3/3 line of Goodra V-Star, and we've got a 4 set here of Comfey with Flower selecting. Look at the top 2 cards. Put one in your hand, put one in the Lost Zone. This fills the engine for the deck. So you're going to see a lot of these everywhere in the future. This Lost Engine stuff is absolutely insane. Continuing on with that Lost Engine, we've got 1 copy of the Cramorant with Lost Provisions. If you have 4 or more cards in the Lost Zone, you can ignore the attack costs that it has. So pretty good. You can just spit innocently and go from there for 110. So you can take out, Avenging Comfey. So going second, you play a Comfey, you switch to another Comfey, you pop a Colress off, you have 4 in there, you can apply some early pressure with Cramorant. We've got 1 copy of Radiant Greninja. We do play Water Energy in this deck because of the attack cost of Goodra. So it is possible to pop off with the Greninja with the Mirage Gates. And of course, you got concealed cards, discard energy cards that draw 2 cards. Really super solid card. And last but not least, We've got one copy of Zamazenta V, and no, not the one that protects V Maxes, which you could play if you really wanted to, but this just feels better. You've got Regal Stance. Once during your turn, you may discard your hand and draw 5 cards. If you use this ability, your turn ends. This is a really good turn 1 after doing things with Comfy. You don't often use this at all. This is honestly for the Kyurem matchup, which is the worst one that's prevalent out there, since they can just completely body you with, you know, that extra energy attachments. But yeah, we got this in here for Revenge Blast, metal and 2 colors, 120 plus 30 more for every prize card your opponent's taken. So if they make out a Goodra VSTAR, they take 2 prize cards. You're doing 60 more, so it's 180 times 2 is 360, so enough to kill Kyurem for weakness. And you can also Mirage Gate onto this. That's why we rock this out. Really good tech option. That's it for the Pokemon. So now we'll move into the supporters. We're playing 4 copies of Colress's Experiment. Look at the top 5 cards. Put 3 into your hand and 2 in the Lost Zone. So that just fills your engine and gets things rolling. The magic number is always 7 with these Lost Zone decks. 10 if you play Sableye or Fantina or, you know, Giratina V-Star. This doesn't have Fantina in it. Doesn't happen too often. You don't want to like go too crazy trying to like pop Fantina off. We do play 2 copies of Melanie though, to accelerate energy onto potentially Zamazenta or Goodra. So you can attach a water, draw 3 cards. Pretty straightforward. And of course the water is part of the Goodra's attack requirements here. So we'll keep that up. Vulcan did have a 3rd Melanie, but after him playing it a little bit more and me playing a few games, I decided to cut this to add a 3rd boss instead of just a 2nd one, because you know you're only doing 200 damage with Goodra. You're 2-tapping everything for the most part. So to be able to like boss back up what you tapped into last turn really does help get there a lot faster on the prize trade. Items, we've got 3 copies of Mirage Gate, not 4, just 3. You don't need it too much here, and you don't really find it too often. You could potentially cut something else for a 4th one if you really want to, but you can only play this so you have 7 cards in the Lost Zone, and so this will let you attach 2 basic energies of different types, so in this case, metal and water, to your Pokemon any way you like. This will fulfill Zamazenta, Greninja, and Goodra's attack costs. Pretty straightforward. We've got 4 copies of Scoop Up Net. This is to be able to pick up and reuse and abuse Greninja and Comfy, so that way you can flower selecting or conceal cards multiple times and also pivot around. We've got 3 copies of Battle VIP Pass. You can only play this on your first turn, and you get to play 2 Pokemon from your deck onto your bench. So this is just like your Greninja, your Goodra, whatever you're missing from turn 1. If you pop off with this, this is pretty good. Going second, you're probably going to find these because of Colress and Comfy's. So keep that in mind, that this is, you know, you could play 4. I think 4 is like optimal if you win the coin flip. But you know, you don't always win the coin flip, and if you really wanted to play a 4th one, you could just cut something else for it. We are playing a single copy of Pokegear to help find supporters. From what I've seen Vulcan do and how I've played it so far, sometimes you did struggle to find like the 2 copies of Boss or the 3 copies of Melanie before I switched the counts. So we're going to play a copy of Pokegear here. If you hit this off of your flower selecting, you're technically looking at 9 cards to find a supporter. You know, and there's, you know, 9 copies of supporters here, so good odds, good odds. We're rocking 2 copies of Switch. He did have 3 in here. I cut the 3rd one for an Escape Rope. Empoleon V is getting a lot of like buffs and popularity in play because of the Comfys and the Greninjas and all this stuff. And it really just shuts off your engine for the most part. So the Kyurem decks, the Palkia decks, the Ice Rider decks, that they're starting to play heavy Empoleon counts. We even put Empoleon into our Hisuian Zoroark V, so go take a look at that link in the iCard. And yeah, Empoleon's really good, and being able to rope away the Empoleon to be able to start using your flower selecting and everything else really makes a massive difference, and it's still technically a switch out for you as well. Just got to be careful on how you play them out. For balls, we've got 2 Ultra Balls and 2 Quick Balls. Nothing too crazy here. Again, a Lost Engine is going to help you find all the pieces you need, and this will just get there to, you know, potentially grab your V-Star or whatever specific Pokemon you need for that instance. We've got 1 copy of Palpad to be able to reuse and abuse these supporters here. Definitely feels really good to have Palpad with the Pokegear, especially since you do go through your deck really fast with the Lost Engine. You could potentially like hold the Pokegear and the Palpad for the end, Palpad back in the supporters. You need Pokegear to find it. It does happen. It feels really good when it does. More or less the end of the items here. We've got an Ordinary Rod, definitely important to put energy in Pokemon back into the deck. Energy specifically, so you can potentially use Mirage Gate later on in the game. Very important to be able to do that there. Okay, we've got a copy of Big Parasol. This is to keep yourself protected from craziness. That is the Giratina. Giratina's VSTAR power completely ignores Goodra saying, hey, you take less damage. They just KO you. So this will prevent that. A lot of the water energies are starting to play splash energy or wash energy. I can't remember the name of it specifically off the top of my head. It has the same effect of Parasol. So a lot of decks are going to start playing this. So you're going to see Mew come back into the fold with Parasols to protect themselves. It's going to be a wild time. We've got one copy of Air Balloon for some extra mobility. Zamazena's got a 2 retreat cost. Goodra's retreat cost is 3, so it's a little thick, so you're definitely going to use your physical switches for that kind of stuff. We've got one copy of Choice Belt, damage modifier. Goodra does 200 plus 30. Is 230 enough to knock out most basic Vs. So keep that in mind that you don't always want to slap this down too early. This could be worth the hold, especially onto a boss target KO end game. For stadiums, we're rocking 2 copies of Crystal Cave to be able to heal 30 damage from Metal and Dragon Pokemon, so you can heal Zamazenta and Goodra V and V-Star. You could play Lake Acuity, but at the same time, this is more reactive. It's not beneficial ultimately to have Lake Acuity. Yeah, you take less damage, but you could just heal the damage done. If they bump Lake Acuity before they attack into you, it's completely done nothing for you. So be able to bump their stadium and then heal just feels a little bit better with Crystal Cave. And we got one copy of Training Court, mostly because we're playing Greninja, and all the energy getting discarded is part of the process. So being able to put energy cards back into our hand with Training Court is really good. And then on to the energy, we have 2 copies of Capture, really good for the turn 1. Again, colorless requirements and everybody for that 3rd energy, basically. So to be able to capture into a Comfey and then switch, or so on and so forth, feels pretty good. And then we're rocking 4 copies of basic Metal Energy to fulfill the attack cost of the Goodra and the Zamazenta. And we're playing a whopping 6 Water because we're playing Melanie and Radiant Greninja. That way you can potentially, Mirage Gate a Metal and a Water on a Greninja, attach a Water for turn, and then, Water Shuriken, or I'm sorry, Moonlight Shuriken to take KOs on Comfeys or Sableye or whatever else. And of course, Melanie food here with the Water Energy. But that is the list. Let me know down in the comments what you think. Of course, go check out my buddy Vulcan Turtle TCG over on Twitch and Twitter. Links down in the description. And of course, like, comment, and subscribe for more Pokemon TCG content. And, go follow me on Twitch for a little bit of stuff. And, yeah, that's it. Much love. Be back into the swing of things. Gust to Win podcast should be out in the next couple of days. We've got a couple episodes scheduled and lined up, so keep an eye out for that as well. But that's it. Take it easy. Much love.